Hi everyone, Miss Hamlet here with another lesson in our unit, Protecting Earth's Resources. Here's your focus question. How can human activities that affect water, air, and land impact ecosystems? We've been talking a lot about this week. Here's your lesson objective. I can explain how human activities can impact ecosystems. Here's your language objective. I can tell, write or type, or use pictures to show how human activities can impact ecosystems. So before we read, let's think. We've been using this KWL chart this past week. I want you to continue adding onto the chart that you've already copied in the previous lesson how human activities that affect water, air, and land. I want you to write down what you know, what you want to know, and what you've been learning about how humans can affect water, air, and land. Use this picture to help you. You can pause the video now to complete this activity. Once you are finished, you may press play and continue the video. Before we read, let's look at some of the focus words we're going to come across in the text. Ecosystem. This is a set of organisms, plants, and animals that live together in a particular area or environment. Monitoring. This is when scientists use all sorts of technology and instruments to look carefully at an ecosystem to make sure that everything that is going on within that ecosystem is healthy for the animals and plants that live there. Controlled burns. This is when forest rangers purposefully burn parts of the forest in a controlled manner to make sure that new plants can grow in that soil. We're going to learn about this today. Protection. This is when we take action to make sure that plants and animals are kept safe through different ways, and we're going to learn about this today as well. And chemicals. We're going to learn how there was a particular chemical that was used and almost destroyed an ecosystem. So today we're going to learn more about the positive behaviors that people or humans can have on an ecosystem. People can protect ecosystems with their positive behaviors, such as monitoring, using controlled burns, and using all forms of protection. People can protect ecosystems with positive behaviors. As I read this section, I want you to quietly read along with me. When I am finished, you can pause the video and read this section to yourself. Then you can answer the question at the bottom of the slide. Monitoring. Monitoring is a way to measure how healthy an ecosystem is by collecting data. Scientists monitor parts of ecosystems in many ways. For instance, science measures soil, water, and air quality using a variety of instruments. They can also input the data they collect into a computer that helps them analyze information, look for patterns, and make predictions about how the ecosystem is changing. Here's your question. What is monitoring? You can start your question by using monitoring is. You can pause the video now to reread this part of the text on your own. Then you can press play to continue the video. Monitoring is a way to measure how healthy an ecosystem is by collecting data. Controlled burns. Sometimes forest rangers burn parts of a forest on purpose. Fires do occur naturally in some ecosystems. For instance, fire is especially helpful to certain pine forests. Pine needles take a very long time to decompose or break down. After the pine needles, leaves, and other debris have been burned in a pine forest, there is room for new trees to grow. The fire returns nutrients to the soil so new plants can grow more quickly. By setting planned and controlled fires, park rangers help some ecosystems become stronger. Here is your question. How can controlled burns help an ecosystem? You can start your answer with, controlled burns can help an ecosystem by. You can pause the video now to quietly read this part of the text on your own. Then you may press play when you're ready to continue the rest of the video. Controlled burns can help an ecosystem by getting rid of natural waste like pine needles and helping new plants grow in the soil. Protection. Ecosystems can be protected by keeping people away from certain parts of the environment. Ecosystems can be protected by passing laws to make it illegal for people to be near certain animals. In the 1960s, scientists who monitored bald eagles found that the population was declining. Less chicks were born each year. The scientists investigated and found that a chemical used to kill pests was impacting the ecosystem. Laws were passed to stop using the chemical. The eagles were protected by these laws. Here is your question. How can we protect an ecosystem? You can start your answer with, one way we can protect an ecosystem is by. You can pause the video now to read this part of the text. You can pause this video now. You can pause the video now to read this part of the text silently to yourself. You can press play when you are ready to continue the video. One way we can protect an ecosystem is by creating laws that protect the plants and animals that live in that ecosystem, just as they did with the eagles in the 1960s. Now you may complete the graphic organizer your teacher has already provided for you. Or you can complete one of these exit slips for this lesson. You will answer the question, how can human activities impact ecosystems? You can use pictures, words, and/or sentence starters to complete your response. Choose one of the options below to complete your response. You can use words from the word bank such as ecosystem, monitoring, protection, or controlled burns. You can also use any of these sentence starters to help you start your answer. Once you are finished, you can end the video. I hope to see you in the next video, everyone. Bye-bye.